Oh, 1977, let's go. Oh, what a 1000 point. What's good, everyone? It's Zigzag here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing some Chronophoto, which is a game where you have to guess what year a given photograph was taken in. It has similarities to Geoguessr because you get points based on how close you guess. But I say let's get straight into things here. I've never tried this game before. This is going to be my very first attempt at it, and I don't expect I'll be that good, but hopefully I know some things that will get me at least decently close. The first one here, okay, we're between 1900 and 2020. The first one here definitely feels quite old, right? So is that like a Tin Lizzie or something like that? That feels like an old Ford. I would say that puts us like in the 20s or 30s, right? Maybe even earlier, I'm not so sure. But this car probably feels more 30s in my opinion. Apart from that, like gasoline 14, I mean, I guess that means like 14 cents per gallon. Would that be true? I'm not really sure. It's a New York plate, is it? Yeah, this is New York. It didn't look like New York at all to me, so that's kind of interesting. But I want to say like early 30s or something like that. That's what these cars feel like to me. I might try like 33 or something like that. Beyond that, I don't really think there's too much to glean here. I mean, it's fairly generic apart from the cars. So let's give that a go. And it was actually 40. Okay, those cars were a bit later. So 500 points is not terrible. But to be fair, like, a car is a fairly big clue, so we'll see how we go. Also, I just realized you can actually zoom in here, so that's kind of cool. But let's head off to the next round here and see if we can improve on that. Okay, next one's much more gettable. Let's check out what people are wearing, check out what we can see here. So, are we somewhere in like, I guess this is going to be somewhere in Sweden, maybe Stockholm for that reason. Unless this is just Paris. It really could be Paris, given that we have like a big cycling event going on here. Or maybe it's even London. I don't really know, but it's obviously not even that relevant. We just need to work out what year it is. So, it feels like the 2000s. Like, based on the sneakers here, I would say that fits pretty well. These definitely look like maybe early 2000s sneakers. How about fashion here? Bit of an oversized shirt, kind of feels like early 2000s to me. What about the other people here? Nothing given away too much. I think the main thing here is just the quality of the photograph and also the infrastructure and what people are wearing here. And overall, this guy feels quite like early to mid 2000s to me. So I might try, I mean, the quality's kind of like grainy, but I still want to try like 2005 or something like that here, 2006 maybe. So I'll go for that, we'll see. Okay, it was actually 1998. I guess the sneakers were kind of 90s. I don't really know what I could have gotten from that picture. I mean, this infographic up here, in hindsight, is kind of 90s, but I felt like it could fit for 2000s as well. Anyway, we're going okay. Not terribly, but not too well either. Let's check out this one. Okay, we got haircuts galore here. Do they kind of feel 80s to me? That seems probable, but I'm not really too sure. Yeah, I feel like the haircuts are quite 80s, like this one, this one, this one. Could even be 70s. Though the whole like picture gives me a bit of an 80s vibe, I think. Fashion-wise, okay, this guy, he's kind of dripped actually, I can't lie. Like, actually a lot of the people kind of dressed well here. So, I don't really know what that means. Maybe that means later in the 80s, I'm not so sure. I'm just trying to think, because like, 90s fashion has kind of made a resurgence right now, and a lot of this is similar to that in my opinion, so maybe we're closer to the 90s. Also, look at this. I mean, this would be very useful if I knew what band it was. I thought it might seem similar to like the Def Leppard logo or something, but really, I don't quite know what it is, so unfortunately, we can't really use it. So I'll try like, I want to try like 87 here. Is that too late in time? I feel like that's too late in time. I'm just going to go for straight 85 here. Let's give it a go. And 8, was it 1984? Let's go. Very good. That is our first great score, 924 points. Have to be happy with that. Okay, let's head through to the next one here. Ooh, this is old-timey. This is very early, I think. Country-wise, probably Europe, right? Maybe London, maybe Paris or something like that. I'm not really sure. I guess it could be the New World, but we have lots of shutters, which makes me kind of think of Paris or something. Yeah, this house feels quite Parisian. It'd be cool if they actually included the location, but I don't think they do. Anywho, like fashion-wise, these hats and everything, that feels quite like Victorian era or very like early on. So I want to try this very, very early, I think. Feels pre-World War One. Apart from that, not really sure, so I might just kind of hedge it here, go for 1905 and see what it is. Hey, it was 1900? Yeah, that definitely felt 1900. I don't know, should have just committed all the way, but this is going pretty well. We're actually not too bad at this. Yeah, those hats definitely felt like that. I mean, I did study history at university, so I guess it's, you know, it should be expected I'm at least decent at this, but okay, next one here. We got some world leaders. Is he... I think, is he a US president? What does it say here? Yeah, President Johnson. Yeah, Lyndon Johnson, right? So, I was going to say that, but hey, I mean, like, lucky we have the sign. So, when was he the president? I could, like, try and trace back all the presidents that I know. I feel like he was president, like, post-World War II, for sure. but I don't know exactly when. Like, could it be like in the late 50s or something? Or is he more recent than that? I mean, it's a black and white photo, so you would think that kind of 50s or earlier makes more sense. I have no idea when he was president, to be honest with you. Fashion-wise, though, I think 50s could make sense here. He's almost dressed a bit more 60s, like a bit more casual, given the circumstances here, so I could maybe go 60. I could just leave it default here. Anything else on the table here? Like, we have some, like, ooh, look at that. These headphones make me want to go later on, right? Because they kind of seem modern, in a way. Do we see anything else on the table that could give it away here? Not really to me, so I think I'll go for 65 here. Gosh, this might be embarrassing, guys. I'm just not sure when this guy was president. To be honest, I actually want to switch it back. Just because it's a black and white photograph, I'm actually going to go 58, screw it. Because, yeah, I just don't believe that it would be black and white like this if it was like that much later. So I'm going to try that. Okay, well, 66, damn. Kind of switched off. Hey, that's okay. I mean, so final results here, 500, 500-ish, 900, 600, and 500. So always within the ballpark, only one or two really good guesses, but 900 is really good. Let's see if we can get 3,000 on the next game. I think that's possible. Ooh, this one is familiar. Okay, so we should be somewhere in, like, Britain, right? That seems fair and easy enough. Like so many jackets in the way we saw in the 80s photograph last time. This time though, I think it might be the 90s. Oh, look at this car. This is a 2000s car, no? This is like a Mini Cooper. Would have to be like at least like early 2000s. Look at that, we got a Wi-Fi sign. Okay, this one's a great one. So obviously, like, Wi-Fi comes in, I guess. I don't know how late Wi-Fi came in, but definitely 2000s here based on the car anyway. I think the car's actually more useful here in my opinion. Yeah, but I can't be too late though, because look at some of these jackets. They feel quite like early 2000s to me, but this car feels maybe closer to even 2010. So I think I might have to go 2010 here, just strangely enough, even despite the fashion that probably would have led me elsewhere. So yeah, I think that's what I'll go for here. That car, yeah, that's going to be the main thing here. So I'm going to try that. And it was 2015 even, yeah, so that was definitely like a modern model of car. And hey, 2015 is not bad, so let's head through to the next one. And we are looking at, ooh, okay, this is really interesting. So what are we looking at here? Some gentlemen. Mustaches are clearly in this country, wherever it was taken. I mean, if they could like include where it was, that would be so cool, because I feel like that could give more away. But as for me, I think these guys might be 50s. I think this is kind of 50s fashion, if I had to guess. Maybe late 40s as well. Yeah, definitely looking at the way like they're all dressed and her like hair as well. I feel like that's really good. So 1950 might actually be the play here. I think that's kind of 49. Let's go. Yeah. Wait, we got one of these like earphones again, do we? I'm not quite sure what that is this time. I'm going to go for 50 instead. Let's try that. Ooh, 65, really? Yeah, maybe, that actually, I guess, like, I wouldn't have picked her hair as 60s, but I guess it does kind of make sense. Okay, yeah, it was a bit of a fumble there. Just trying to see what I could have gotten up, but I'm not really sure. So that one's okay. You get 117 points, so you have to play really well from here on in. Is this Pearl Harbor, maybe? Background. And this is some geoguessing, because obviously if it is Pearl Harbor, then this is going to be like a massive round for points, because that happened in 42, right? I thought 42 was Pearl Harbor. So, background, does it feel Hawaiian enough? I feel like it does. I feel like this does feel rather Hawaiian. It's rolling hills, they're quite tall mountains as well. Battleships kind of feel American, so I'm never going to guess anything else here. Got to be 42. And it was 41. Oh gosh. Dude, 41. Okay, that makes sense. Like, it happened in 41 and then they entered the war in 42, or maybe I'm just ignorant. Anyway, that's a good score. We get 924 points, so we can be happy with that. Next one here. What are we looking at? Some kind of factory? Ooh, it feels like quite an early photograph. The quality of it, just looking at people's eyes as well. It's maybe like a longer exposure time or something like that, maybe. What are they building here? That could actually be a clue, though I don't really think I know, unfortunately. Given that we have so many men in the factories, I think it's not during one of the world wars, and we have like a man wearing a hat here, like several men wearing hats. I would say that would definitely be an indication that this is quite early. So 20s or 10s in my opinion here. This guy's mustache surely feels a bit like 1910s like, but it's really hard to say as well. I could hedge it here again a bit, so that would be during World War One. We could go like 1912 here. I feel like that's pretty safe. Otherwise, I could easily see 20s as well, but that's what I'm going to try. Oh, it was 29. Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's just a difficult one. I feel like the technology looked quite old to me, but that's, you know, it's hard to tell back in those early years, I think. Okay, next one here, pure meat hamburger. On roll with onions, 20 cents. So thinking of inflation here, this has got to be relatively early. That would be a very cheap hamburger, of course, anywhere, you know, past 2000. My thought is here maybe the 60s. It could even be 70s. Like, it's a very clear photograph in color. I'm not really sure how much that should affect my thoughts here, but yeah, this is classic like diner style, right? I think like maybe like somewhere around like the late 60s probably works best here. Yeah, honestly, I feel like that's pretty good. He's still wearing a hat. I feel like wearing a hat is actually pretty like a good of a clue. Also, like, seems to be like post-segregation, definitely, but like if you're in a northern state, I guess that would be less of a factor in the guess. But yeah, and I feel like 68's pretty good here. It could be a little later. I would probably err a little later if I'm wrong, but I'm gonna go 68. And oh no, it was actually 1961. Okay, so definitely an interesting one there. That explains the cheap prices, but the whole like setting of the photo definitely felt more like 70s to me than 60s. But I mean, I did get the right decade, I guess, so that's at least something. So we ended up with a score here a little bit worse than last time, 2200. I still think we can get 3000, so let's go for another attempt here. And here we have what looks to be like a fairly iconic photograph. So let's see if I can actually work this out. So maybe we're at like a World Cup, a FIFA World Cup, or like an Olympic Games or something like that. Definitely not easy to say. But we have like someone in like army uniform here in a way that makes me think this could be like during the First or Second World Wars. I don't know if there's that much here, apart from the fact that this hat here kind of reminds me like 30s or 20s actually. So I think that's what I might go for, 1920s. It is a very poor quality photograph, so I feel like that is pretty decent here. So why don't we go for like 24? I don't know. I'm going against what I said with the war theme. I guess this is probably just a country where the military presence is more, or these are just like kind of some colonels or something like that. But I want to say like 24 is decent here. So let's go to go. Okay, it was 26. Very nice. Very nice. If you guys are familiar with the book series Jeeves and Wooster, then the TV adaptation is set in like the 20s or 30s, and there's a lot of women wearing those hats. So that's kind of how I got it there. Give it a comment if you know what I mean. But the next one here. Okay, back to the wartime. This looks like a World War I type of car, surely. Extremely like it's too like basic for World War II, that's for sure. We have military uniforms again here, so surely World War I here. Maybe like 19... where do these guys look like they come from? Maybe like Turkey, or like they could be Ottoman, or they could be maybe Italian or something. I think I want to say 1915 here. That feels decent to me. I hope this isn't wildly wrong. If it could be really wrong if it's just not during a World War, but I don't think it's World War II, so I'm gonna go for that. Okay, it was 1917, very nice. World War I again, so there we go. This is a really good start. We can definitely get 3K this time. Oh, and this is gettable too. Everyone's wearing Converse here. Free tapes. So tapes era would be like, I want to say that's like 80s, 90s, right? I feel like that's correct. What else we got going on here? It's like, feels like it might be like New York or something like that to me. I don't know, when did tapes come around? I mean, we definitely have credit cards going on here. We can see like the Visa and MasterCard logo there. So that's at least something. Like, what about like any bands or tape here? Party time. Unfortunately, nothing's really legible. Man, I would love to be able to read this. Cartridge tape, yeah. It feels like it's early in tape's lifetime, so maybe this is like late 70s, early 80s? I mean, when did Converse come in as well? I feel like that might be a bit of like a 70s shoe, but I'm not so sure actually. Kind of exposing some holes in my general knowledge, here it is. But I want to say like 1975? Is that decent? Maybe earlier. I don't know, the quality of the image is low, so... But the credit cards are there, so I do want to say like maybe even 78 here if we have credit cards coming in. Surely, yeah, maybe even 80. I don't know, like credit cards plus everyone wearing Converse. Surely should add up to something. Free tapes? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna go for that. I feel like this could be quite wrong though, we'll see. Okay, it was 70 instead, that makes sense. I don't actually know when credit cards became widely used, but I guess if they needed like a sign to say we have it on the actual shop, then that does make sense for it being a bit earlier. But okay, we can take it. 300 points is at least okay. We still have 2 points. We still have 2 rounds to get 500 points each to get that 3K. Okay, next one here. Dr. Freundlich, Dr. Freundlich Dentist. Okay, so probably back in the US here or something, I'd imagine. This is early. Everyone's wearing hats, so this has to be early. It's a good meta for this game. Yeah, but what about the cars? Again, like that kind of... Okay, last time we had a Tin Lizzie was on the very first round of the video, and as I recall, on that round I guessed... I think I guessed like 1920 and it was 25 or something like that. Was that the case? Anyway, I want to say this is about that again, maybe earlier this time, like 22 or something like that. What did I guess? I can't remember. Oh gosh, that's annoying. But could this be like Great Depression era or something like that? Just given the fact that everyone's out on the streets and whatnot. Oh man, Great Depression's like early 30s, right? I don't know, maybe I should hedge a bit further towards the 30s here, given that fact. Okay, yeah, but maybe it's just like a bustling street, could just be like the central streets of New York or something. I'm gonna hedge a little bit further towards here, say like 26, but yeah, I'll hedge for Great Depression. Okay, I'm hedging for Great Depression. Let's see it. Oh, 1977. Let's go. Oh, what a 1,000 pointer. We're above 3,000 now. Let's go, guys. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Huge stuff there. What can I say? Just a genius, guys. That's all I'm saying. The hat meta comes through once again. And yeah, that was great. Okay, next round. Let's see if we can bring it up even further. Ooh, this is interesting. So we have like it's like an MP40 or something, is it? No, I don't really know guns like that, but definitely feels like something like post-World War II, I want to say. These are like World War II guns, maybe, I want to say. But does it feel like World War II? Not necessarily. Could be... I don't know, these guys almost look like South American or something? I'm not really sure. Like, are we on a beach? But it looks like we're indoors. I don't quite understand what's going on in this photo, to be honest with you. But I want to say it's like 40s or 50s. That probably feels best to me here. Yeah, I think so. Like, the cap definitely feels like it. I think maybe 40s is actually the best option here. But it doesn't really feel like World War II, so... I don't know, maybe I'll just guess 1950 as a hedge here. It's kind of strange. I must admit, this is definitely not like familiar to me based on the fashion or anything like that. So yeah, I'm gonna give that a go. Last time we had a round from a similar part of the world, it was like in a classroom, and I guessed 1950 and it was 1960. So I don't want to make the same mistake again. But the guns do kind of feel kind of old to me, so I guess I'll hedge it more 52 here. Let's give that a go. Okay, it was 58, so again, that was a good change up. We get 575 points there, and here is the final summary. We had 800 points, 800, 300, that was a bit of a throw. Should have gotten closer here, definitely. Then we had 1,000, that was great, and we had a 1958. So guys, we got a total score of 3,615. Feel like that's pretty good. Let me know how you guys go in the comments. I'll link the game in the description. Guys, thank you very much for watching the video all the way to the end. Give it a like if you enjoyed, and yeah guys, I'll see you guys in a video soon. Catch you later.